Hello guys, it's Maddie and welcome to another video in what has, I guess, become a bit of a series of minimalist builds on my channel. Lately I've been feeling really creative and really inspired, so I've wanted to kind of challenge myself. So I've created a couple of minimalist builds now. So the first video was a minimalist family home, and then my last video was a minimalist starter home. And I said before in my last video, I usually do houses with, really big floor plans and lots of decoration and just a bit extra. And so the minimalist vibe is definitely a challenge for me. Doing a starter home was something I've never done before. So yeah, just really trying to challenge myself, I guess, and build new things. And actually the last two builds that I did, I used custom content just because I find it a bit easier. I love having a bit more choice. And I did say as well, I did find that custom content, especially the kind of alpha leaning items, they do kind of suit a bit of a boho minimalist style. But I wanted to make my third build without custom content. And originally I was going to do an apartment because I haven't done an apartment yet, and I definitely will. But the reason I don't want to use custom content is because I want to be able to upload the build on the gallery, which I never do if I use custom content, because you can download a build that has custom content in it, but you have to search specifically for it. And if you don't have some of the items that I've placed down, they won't appear in your game. So it's just a bit of a hassle. And the thing is, uploading apartments to the gallery in itself, even when they don't have custom content, is a bit of a pain in the ass. You can't upload it. You have to delete loads of walls and doors and stuff just to be able to download it. So I didn't really want to bother with that. And I thought something that I've always wanted to try in The Sims is an A-frame home. I've seen quite a few people build them, and I think that they are absolutely gorgeous. You can see here, it's just this kind of triangle shape. It's just called an A-frame home, and I really, really like it. So I didn't actually know how to do it. So I did have to check a YouTube tutorial. If you do want to try something like this, there's loads of videos on YouTube about how to do it. And actually I have built a house similar to this before. It wasn't A-frame, but one of the first videos that I uploaded to my channel was basically trying the hack of building a huge micro home. So that was inspired by a video from Simproved, and it uses the same basic technique of using those kind of diagonal roof pieces and putting the glass texture on them, and basically the way that you drag them and manipulate them, it kind of creates a glass wall, which looks really, really effective. And there is a way to use that to make an A-frame home, so that's the kind of tutorial that I followed. And yeah, I really, really like it. I was super happy with the finished product. I absolutely love this house. The one struggle with an A-frame home, and maybe there is a way to get around this, not that I know of anyway, but basically there is kind of two floors. So in this house, the bedroom is on the second floor, but the game doesn't actually recognize it as a second floor. So the top of the house is basically just roof. So if you're sort of on the bottom floor of the house and you click to go up a level, it won't show you the bedroom. It just takes you above the house, if that makes any sense. So yeah, there is kind of a way around it. So you can either sort of go into tab mode and sort of look up to see the second floor, or you can just there's actually a ladder going up, so you can just send your sim up the ladder and then follow them. But otherwise it is a little bit difficult to see the top floor. I don't know if there is a way around it. I'm not 100% sure, but that's just personally what I would do. I probably won't play in this house myself because I personally love family gameplay, and this is an apartment or a house for a single sim. So I usually play with lots of kids, and I have all my sims get married. So yeah, it's not the one I would usually play with, but actually, as I said, I was so happy with the house that it made me want to play it, because I just really like the style of it. Yeah, it turned out beyond any of my expectations, and it really made me want to play with it. So I think I probably would play with it just to sort of test it out and give it a try. But funnily enough, I moved my sim self in, so it did kind of feel like I was living there. And actually, although it is for a single sim, I did put lots of stuff for a dog. So there's sort of a dog bed, and you can see in the garden there I added the sort of training hoop that dogs can jump through, and some toys and stuff. So yeah, you definitely could move in a single sim and have them have a dog. So yeah, I think that would be really cute. This would kind of be my dream house if I lived alone, to be honest. And actually doing the bedroom here, this was my favorite part of the house. So you can kind of see the triangle shape. This is just roofing, and I had to move the glass roof. You can see it there. I just had to move it out of the way in order to access the bedroom, and then I put it back up. And that's kind of what I was talking about it's kind of difficult to get up to the bedroom. But regardless, it is my favorite room in the house. I think it captures that sort of minimalist vibe really nicely. And actually, it was quite refreshing to build without custom content. I feel like if I don't build with custom content, I kind of miss some of the more options that you get with custom content. But then after a while, I also miss building just with the items that come with the game. And of course, as I said, it's nice to be able to upload your builds to the gallery, which is where you can find this A-frame home. My origin ID is MaddieJ1996. I always put it in the description of the video if you want to check it out. But yeah, we're just going downstairs, and I just want to say I really liked the wallpaper. It may sound strange, but this kind of wallpaper that I used on the outside is actually one of my favourite parts of the build. I think it just gives it a little bit of a rustic feel for the overall build. And speaking of which, in terms of the kind of sim that would live here, I imagine them to be, you know, very creative and very crafty. So when I was decorating, I put a lot of items that came with nifty knitting, so a lot of the kind of hanging planters and some of the little knitting decorations and rugs, but I also put a lot of items that you can fabricate from the Eco Lifestyle pack, such as rugs and chairs and things like that. So I imagine it's just someone that loves to just build things and make their own furniture and their own decorative items. And actually, when I was finished building the sort of this main part, you can see the kitchen and the dining room, I worked out that I actually had a spare room to play with, so I decided to make that like a little bit of an office kind of. So it's probably my least favorite room in the house, but it is just there to kind of function as, like I say, a kind of little workspace for the Sims. So there's a woodworking table and the fabricator and a place to sew. So like I said, they're just someone who is very creative and probably quite wealthy. This house is worth 47,000 simoleons. So like I say, they love making things, and they have become very wealthy from selling those things. At least that's what I imagine anyway. And obviously by the sort of style of the decorations, they are just someone who likes the simple way of life, just sort of minimal decorations. And as with all my builds for this sort of, I guess, minimalist series, I kind of focus in terms of colours on like light wood tones and whites, because I think that looks really nice. And I don't know what else to say. I think that just, to me, kind of sums up that very minimalist vibe. I mean, I definitely think you could do colours. Maybe that's what I'll do next. Like I say, I definitely do want to do an apartment. And maybe a tiny home would be a good one to use. Maybe that's one of the next ones I'll do. But yeah, here I just put a little desk with a computer, a nice little workspace, and I probably do an open plan kind of kitchen dining room for like 90% of my builds. And even the sort of living room, you can easily access. I don't really like playing with doors. I love just having things feel really open, and it's actually quite a big space. The dining table doesn't take up much room, so the sort of middle of the room is quite empty, which I suppose, could look a little bit strange, but I don't know, I kind of like it. It just feels very like light and airy and open, and I think it would be the perfect place for someone who is very creative. So yeah, just doing the living room here. I did add, a few pops of colour, like you can see here, so little bits of blues and greens I put in this room, but yeah, like I say, I do try and focus on, I guess, minimal colours when I'm doing these minimalist homes. And by that I guess I mean just, a few colours, maybe white, light woods, and then like one pop of colour or something. I always think that looks really, really effective. But yeah, as you can see, there is a ladder to go up to the second floor because, I guess there is so much space I could have fit in stairs, but again, I just feel like the minimal vibe suits having just a ladder to go upstairs. Personally, I would hate that. Like, I would hate waking up in the morning and just feeling so tired and having to climb a ladder downstairs. I feel like that could lead to a lot of accidents. But luckily, that's not the case in the Sims, because your Sims cannot fall down the stairs. So yeah, just doing the bathroom now. Quite a big bathroom, but I don't know. I always struggle to furnish bathrooms, even when I do really big ones like this. I think part of the problem is it just kind of being a box. So what I did was I placed the sort of bath and the shower and the toilet, and it took me a long time. I did end up cutting it out because it would be very boring. But it took me a very long time to kind of figure out where to put the sink. I played around with quite a few different layouts. Yeah, I just find it difficult sometimes without making it look awkward. Again, because I think it's just a little bit of a boxy shape. But yeah, I was quite happy with it. I always use this sort of jungle adventure wallpaper, or at least almost always, for my bathrooms because I think it's really nice, and it's adds sort of a pop of pattern and colour, but it's also not too much. So I think it still sort of fits within that minimalist vibe that I was going for. So then the final room, which is this one, is what I was talking about with a kind of workspace place. Just like a very simple room, decorations kind of minimal. Just a place for her to work on sort of making her items, fabricating and woodworking and stuff like that. So not too special, but just like a nice room that kind of places those things out of the way, especially the fabricator's so big. I always struggle to put one of those in builds. But yeah, hopefully this was a good solution. And I think that's pretty much it. We're just coming onto the screenshots now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, because there will definitely be more speed builds and a few more minimal builds as well. So yeah, until my next video, bye.